1-0 to the Arsenal. 3 points. Happy with that?
Yeah, happy with the 3 points. We got Gyökeres up top, but we didn't get the other ingredients, in my opinion. And that reflected in the game.
Which were?
Something in attacking midfield and something on the left wing.
Is he a left winger? Is he that we get him in and then in 6 months' time we're like, why don't we get a left winger? He's not really a left winger. You get my meaning?
That's why it should be 2 players. The club's letting us down again, Rob. The first game of the season has left us with more questions than answers. Yeah.
Gunners Unfiltered. Hi and welcome along to another episode of Gunners Unfiltered, the Manchester United versus Arsenal version, because of course we had the big game, the opening game of the season for Arsenal. Arsenal beating Manchester United at Old Trafford by 1-0. 1-0 to the Arsenal, right? And 3 points. Happy with that?
Yeah, happy with the 3 points. That's the aim of the game, win. And we won.
Win the dog.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know what the aim was with that one, but
right.
We need to win the first game of the season, regardless of who it was, and it happened to be probably the most difficult of the lot for the big 6 teams away at Old Trafford, and
definitely
we won.
Yeah, and so do we listen? The performance weren't great.
That's fair,
right?
Yeah.
Are you looking into that deeply, or do you just say to yourself, at our first game of the season, all that matters is the 3 points?
You could say deeply, because the transfer window and how we're lacking in because it plays a part. We're still in the window, so all of the things that I thought we needed, we got Gyökeres up top,
right?
But we didn't get the other ingredients, in my opinion, and that reflected in the game.
Which were?
Something in attacking midfield and something on the left wing. And that reflected again, in my opinion. It reflected a lot last year, but then this year we're trying something different. We're trying to move the ball quicker, but it still reflects the same way. And I know it's only a few games in pre-season we've done it, and only one game at the highest level against United. But I need to be seeing a bit more, especially from first game. But there's a couple of players that need to, hit the ground running. It's another chance, especially for the players on the left wing.
Still first game.
It's still first game, but there's 2 weeks after the window. Let's not say the same thing after the 7th game or 8th game, because then there's nothing we can do about it. And then it's going to be on to January, and we know what that's like. We've been there before.
All right, so what can give us your concerns, what you saw?
Attacking midfield, I think Odegaard had good moments, but overall, he's just struggling to let the pass off quick enough, in my opinion. Certain moves that we had, he slowed it down, and he was guilty of that a lot last season. This time round, Man United left themselves open at times, and in 22-23, Odegaard excelled in that kind of position, open space. Now, over the last 2 years, he's lost a bit of something. First game, yes, but it's his 4th year. It's not his first game. Or Martinelli on the left, for example, where, in my opinion, we needed to do something on that left-hand side, whether that's sell Trossard and bring in an upgrade on Martinelli. We still might, and that's the hope. That's why... All right, deeply is probably not the best word to use, because they still have 10 days or so to do something about it. But it wasn't good enough. We put that same performance in at Anfield, we lose that game. We put that performance in at St James Park, we probably don't win that game.
If Liverpool put the performance in that they put in against Bournemouth, they could lose the game. Because they weren't vintage Liverpool either. They were 2-0 up.
True.
Right? They had loads of, look at the Semenya second goal, where he just runs through the whole team.
It'd be nice to have a player like that, right?
It would be. I saw us getting linked with him today.
But Liverpool, yeah.
But look, this before you get to that, look, he runs straight down the middle of the thing. Their fullbacks looks a bit all over the place, but they have just arrived. So you've got to give them time, innit? I'm sure they are going to improve, but I think you saw that across a lot of teams at the weekend.
Yeah.
That game at Old Trafford was really, really intense. That was like nothing that Arsenal have experienced in pre-season. That's why pre-season friendly games are completely different to a proper Premier League game, right? So to me, there's certain players there that didn't play well, but I'm still cautioning a bit because it's still early, because they've gone from one sort of type of game into the ultimate intense away from home, Old Trafford, 70,000 fans baying blood. You know what I mean? Like it's not an easy game to go into.
It's not. We don't often win there. You know,
No.
I knew that before. Arteta mentioned it again. We don't often win there, so to get 3 points from there, great job. But you know that in terms of the 3 points, we often tend to then go into performance, and that's where we let ourselves down in a sense. But I guess the ultimate goal is the 3 points, and you move on. You got a home game against Leeds. Let's try to turn it up there. But we've got tougher games to come than Old Trafford. And the thing about Liverpool is Liverpool played poor, I think, in my opinion, overall across the 90 minutes. They was lucky to even be up initially. They scored 4 goals. And on top of that, the two positions you look at and say, all right, what do Liverpool need to do in the last 2 weeks? Centre-back and probably another attacker. They're linked with Gueye and Isak. We're linked with nobody. You know,
We are linked with loads of people.
the rumours are thin at the very best. You know, like it's not a Fabrizio or Ornstein saying anything, and really or even a hand of Arsenal this summer. None of them three are saying anything about Arsenal or making moves for a Rodrigo or anything. It's all the tier 2s or tier 3s or tier 5s saying
but then also, you know, for a lot of the tier 1s, they weren't the ones saying at first that we were going to get, say, for instance, Gyökeres. None of them knew about Mosquera until that was about to drop. You know what I mean? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know.
But we know Arsenal in previous windows always let us down.
We know previous
always
windows.
let us down. That's what we do know.
That we do know.
I go with the odds. The odds say they're going to let us down again.
I don't know. Listen, I'm with you. We need a left winger. I'm not sure we need an attacking midfielder. They've now said it's going to be Odegaard, and then they're bringing through Ethan Wanieri in there. And I'm comfortable with that. You know what I mean? I think Ethan Wanieri is a exceptional talent, and I think, give him a chance there. So I'm happy with that. But I do think we need a left winger. Even yesterday, when we brought Madueke on, you know, I mean, defensively, he was all over the place. I think we saw there why he likes Martinelli as well. I think we saw there why a lot of times we're always just focused on the attacking work that Martinelli does, and that's fair enough. You are a left winger, your job is assists and goals. But then he does a lot of work defensively as well. And when he came off and Abad came on and started cooking Madueke like that, I was like, Madueke just don't look comfortable on that side. I know it's only one game,
It's
but
a big project.
I'd like to see Madueke as the backup to Saka on that right-hand side. I think if that's what he's coming for, that's a good signing. And occasionally he plays on the left wing, and then go and get a proper left winger. You say for 50 mil, but when I'm looking at all the prices now, it's a fair price.
I don't think so. Even you look at Kudus, for example. Come on, Kudus is a much more established player.
Kudus is a better player overall, in my opinion, but he would still be a player in a similar price range as a Madueke. So that's what they went for. And then if you look at Amari Hutchinson, has just gone for £40 million.
Yeah, the market's silly.
So that's what I'm saying. So,
no, but we're doing silly stuff as well.
But it's the market price. If you're going to get a player like that, England international, Madueke,
you know what? It's fine.
He's in the England squad. That's the market price.
It's not fine, but
that's the market price. Okay. Let's just be real. At first, when we was paying that, I was thinking, boy,
I don't think it's market price.
It's the market price.
I don't think so. Elanga had a great season for Forest and goes for the same, more or less the same.
Yeah, but
at least he had an established season. Kudus has more talent, and he's had a
Madueke and Elanga is a big difference between them two. I don't think there is. I mean, Madueke's played for Chelsea. He's played in European football. You know, Elanga hasn't.
But Elanga had to have a top he had a top season to
he had a good season, but I just feel they're in the similar price bracket.
Nah.
Right? They're in a similar price bracket. So is Kudus is in a similar price bracket. I think Kudus is a better player, but I don't think Kudus is like a 70-80 million pound player. I think he's in the same. So all of those players are kind of going for that fee. Jamie Gittins, who's just come from Dortmund to Chelsea. What did he? That was maybe 45, 50. Right? He's not even an England international.
Doesn't mean we have to do that same silly business though.
I'm just saying that's the price bracket. That's the price range right now. So did we massively overpay?
I think we agree. We would rather have Eze here at the moment than Madueke, right?
I would. Yeah.
Money misplaced then.
But with Eze, is Eze a left winger. I would love Eze because of his pure quality, right? But when you're looking at it, if Arsenal have got one other signing in them and they want a left winger, is Eze a left winger? If we're being real, if we actually sit down and say, right, let's just take out the fact that he's a great player, is he a left winger? Is he that we get him in and then in 6 months' time we're like, why don't we get a left winger? Eze is not really a left winger. You get my meaning?
That's why it should be two players. The club's letting us down again, Rob. The PSR stuff is coming out again, doing the rounds on the socials, and it shows that we can spend. Without even selling, we can spend.
Well, actually, Ornstein, the guy that you quoted earlier, what he said was, he did an interview, and he said that they've got a lot of headroom when it comes to, what's the other one? I get confused with
FFP or PSR.
Sorry, PSR, they've got a lot of headroom with that one, but with the FFP stuff, they're close to it. So that's what you're saying. And as I said to you on the last one of these we did, that's why you see a lot of these teams, they're trying to sell players first before they bring people in.
And we're terrible at that. So who's to blame for that? When does that change?
We have been terrible at that, but I don't think we're terrible at that no more.
Well, this season we've only sold Tavares, and that was an obligation.
But then if you look at Arsenal, they've got a lot of players that are very, very saleable, but they don't want to sell them. I mean, if they wanted to turn around tomorrow and said, all right, let's sell Saliba, they'll get brilliant money for him. They get brilliant money for Saka. They get brilliant money for Gabriel, Wanyeri, Max Dowman. Any of those players they tried to sell, they get great money for them. They're not for sale.
Yeah, but we should have opened up a little bit, though. I mentioned Martinelli a few times.
You could sell Martinelli. Martinelli would be like £70 million, or probably he'd probably be in the £50 million thing bracket.
If we're lucky, yeah.
But,
Saudi.
That's if he wants. Remember, when you just say Saudi, that's if a player wants to go to Saudi.
I mean, they can persuade. They got their ways.
Well, what are you going to do? Like kidnap him, put a gun to his head, and say, "Boy, you're going to Saudi."
The Saudis have their ways. The money.
No, it's not just because sometimes you do live in a bit of a fantasy land with these things. Just because of Neom FC or Al Nassr coming for you, right, and say, right, you got to want to go.
Well, let's find out if he wants to go, innit? That's what we should have done.
You got to want to go. Well,
do you know he doesn't want to go?
Well, they said at the start of the window, Saudi teams were showing an interest in Martinelli, and he's not gone, has he? He probably weren't interested.
Man.
He's a young guy. He's a Brazilian international. Why does he, he's probably thinking and saying, Saudi for later on, but right now, if I left Arsenal, I could go to other clubs. I don't want to go to Saudi. That's how he's probably looking at it.
Where's the other clubs? I don't mind. I don't care where people move on to if it's time to move on.
It's not as easy as you make out, yeah? Just like say, you're Martinelli, you're off to Saudi. Unless you're maybe that Marinakis guy.
Oh, you're off. Let's see how we're going to work this out. But it's too late, and that's the problem. And that's why the Man United performance, in my opinion, highlights the deficiencies in the window.
No, you can't say that, because then even a lot of the players that came in, they didn't have great games, but it's still early.
No one did bar three.
Exactly.
But
we have made, there were a couple of new signings in that game. Zubimendi played, Gyökeres played, but you've got to give them time.
But we've seen players, let's say Man City, for example, Cherki and Reinders. First game of the season, they showed what they're about, at least,
they're
right?
Playing Wolves away. It's a different game. You know what I mean? What did all right, but then you can also pinpoint a lot of other players, right? Look at Wirtz. He had a stinker. He's a great player, and he's gonna be a great player. But he had a stinker his first game. It happens.
Yeah. And Ekitike scored, so there's examples both ways.
Ekitike scored, Wirtz had a poor game.
There's examples both ways, but overall, that performance didn't highlight anything great apart from maybe a certain level of resilience to hold on to the 3 points. And even then, it had Raya, great save to keep that Cunha shot out, and a decent save for the Mbomo header. So even then, the resilience was somewhat tested to the final line.
That is part of the resilience, because the keeper is part of the team.
Yeah, and that's maybe the most credit I can give.
Yeah, well, you don't like to give a lot of credit. I know you. You don't like to give a lot of credit. You know what I mean?
I've given much credit over the years. But
listen, it weren't a great performance, right? Yes. But they can't blame that on signings. Because you could have bought a load of signings in and still... United had new signings there. They didn't win, did they?
They showed a little something.
They showed a little something. They're at home, you know what I mean? But they didn't win. So still, even with us, with them, with Liverpool, with everybody who's bought in new signings, whether they banged or whether they didn't bang, it's one game.
It's what... I'm not... I feel the same way before the game that I felt after the game. So it's not like I've changed my opinion. We're still light.
We're light.
Madueke comes on, Havertz comes on, and the game doesn't change. Havertz put himself about 1 free kicks, yes, but
Havertz helps us see the game out.
Yes, so we brought 2 attackers on, and it doesn't change our fortunes in attack at all. And that was the problem in many games last season where we didn't have the options to bring on because the attack is not working correctly. We're not creating enough chances, and these attackers come on, hit Trossard here and there. I'll give him that. But aside from that, we didn't have no one to change up play a little. And that's what I saw again against United.
Yeah, Chelsea bought in players, right? You know what I mean? João Pedro, they bought in Gittins, this, that. What did they do?
0-0.
That's what I'm saying. It's still early, man. You know what I mean? Like
points, and that's
they've made signings. So it's I think you're being a bit over harsh. At the end of the day, it's going to take time. Yes, I think we could do with a left winger, right? I'm not sure if we need an attacking midfielder.
I think
we've got 2. You have to go with the 2 that we got. You know what I mean? We've got 2 players in nearly every position at the moment. The one position that I think is light is that left wing, and that's because Trossard's going to go. And it was quite interesting for me yesterday that it was actually Madueke who came on and not Trossard, because normally it would always be Trossard who's coming on. That sort of indicates to me that he's got to be going.
Which is not a good thing.
Because I know obviously he's been, he had a little injury, but Arteta said he was fit. Yeah. So for him not to come on at all, and that's not Kivior good. Weren't in the squad either.
That's not good.
I think that's indicated that he's definitely going. But you just said we're bad at selling. Yeah. So if these are players that are going to be worth a little bit,
but they're also players that have proven their worth to us in terms of depth.
Yeah, but you've got Trossard who won't sign a new contract.
See his year out.
Then how's that good sales?
Because we need a squad.
You're contradicting yourself.
No. Trossard's a different player to Martinelli.
No, but you sell Trossard and you go and buy a left winger. Why are you making him see it out for? Then he walks away at the end of the window for nothing.
Because you sell Trossard, then you're going to be asking who's the guy off the bench to come and score a goal.
You sell Trossard and you bring in a left winger.
Yeah, but they've already got Madueke in. Do you get what I'm saying?
Madueke. I said earlier. For me, I want to see Madueke as the backup to Saka on the right hand side, right? Happening. Then bring in another person on the left hand side, and then you got Madueke who can, if need be, cover on that. But your job predominantly is going to be on the right. Bring in a left winger if Trossard goes. If they don't do that, I'm with you. I wouldn't be happy with that at all, because to me, if Trossard goes and it's just Madueke to cover there, I'm not happy with that. Madueke for me doesn't look like he's comfortable on that left wing. On the right wing, he's tricky. We've seen him. But on that left wing, no. So bring in a left winger, if Trossard goes, which I think he is going to be, because that was an indicator for me yesterday. And same with Kivior. It was an indicator to me that he wasn't even in the squad.
It is an indicator. But again, we're selling probably the 2 best depth players we have.
But you just said you wanted, we don't good at selling players.
Yeah, but you don't
Their players have got money.
Yeah, but you don't sell the good depth, though. That's not the first thing you sell.
But you bought him. They bought in Mosquera now. They bought in Mosquera, so they've got depth.
Covers Tomiyasu, I guess.
Yeah. And Tomiyasu was, he
was never there, but we gave him a contract whilst he's injured. Right? That's our business.
I just feel that, I think we've got enough depth at the back now. We've got enough depth. You've got 2 people
more than enough.
Yeah, so then that's why you could get rid of Kivior. I don't think
Kivior's
done well.
Be the one.
He's done Kivior, but
I think
Kivior's done well.
Zinchenko will be the one.
And Zinchenko. I think you move both of those on.
Well, what have they been doing for 2 months?
But they're trying to move them on.
Well, what, 2 months? Like who's in charge of this?
Well, there's a lot of teams that is taking. City.
I'm seeing everyone sell just players.
Right. So what about Edison? How comes Edison still at City then? He's been linked with a move away since the start of the window. It ain't just
not like that. They've just sorted their business out to cover that.
Edison, since the window opened on the 1st of June, has been linked with a move away from the club, and he's still there. And he's still there, Edison.
And they've bought in Trafford. They're trying to talk to Donnarumma.
Yeah, and the Donnarumma thing right now, what happens to Trafford? That seems like a weird thing, because now they're... so
that's what they're choosing to do, but at least they're making...
If that would have been us, you'd be saying, they're confused. Why did you get, bring in Trafford, and now you're bringing in...
We've done similar funny things with goalkeepers before, so it's not...
Well, so that's what I'm saying. It's not immune to just Arsenal. It happens to other clubs as well.
And Man City have won many trophies. That's why they've got the benefit of doubt.
But they didn't win any last year.
But they've got benefit of doubt.
Can't
they've
just
got
always
champions and a manager that's been there, done that everywhere.
So we just go like that just because we, just throw it away.
Not throw it away.
And then after
be
that,
a bit ruthless.
Then after that, what you'd be then doing would be accusing the team of Berta and of wasting money.
Yeah, but then you just said Madueke for 50 mil's fine.
No, I didn't say it's fine. I said it's the market rate.
Yeah,
when I think about it,
it's not fine. Then.
I don't say it's fine, but I'm saying that when you compare it to what other players have been going for, it's more or less the market rate.
That doesn't make it anything, though. It doesn't make it good. It doesn't make it acceptable.
Only
palatable.
time will tell, innit, with this. It's only time. It was the first, he's barely played
We
the
know.
game. Only time will tell.
We know.
We don't know.
We know.
We don't know.
You must know.
No.
Okay.
If he's, as I said, if he's back up on that right-hand side, right, and he comes in and he does a great job. We don't know what can happen in the season. Remember last season when Saka got injured?
Yeah.
When Saka got injured, right, in January.
Ranieri stepped in and done his thing.
Yeah, Ranieri stepped in.
We still got Ranieri.
Did you know Ranieri was around before then?
Yeah.
Did you know Ranieri would be capable of playing on
We saw him last pre-season.
No, hold on. Did you know Ranieri would be capable of playing on right wing and covering for Saka? Did you know Mars Lewis Skelly would be able to come in at left back and do such a great job?
Was, but
that's what I'm saying. So only time will tell. Now we know, but only time will tell. And we went and bought
Madueke.
With Madueke, only time will tell whether he's going to be a good signing or not.
Time will tell you. Time ain't telling me.
So you think he's a bad signing?
For 50 mil, I'm not talking about the man or the player here. I'm talking about the signing.
Because it's as
50
I said,
mil matters.
50 mil is the going rate for that type of player right now. It's simple.
It's not the going rate.
All you got to do is look at the market.
That's for sure. It's not our going rate for depth.
It is.
No, when do we sign players 50 mil for depth? Never. So he's going to be our left winger.
Well, let's wait and see. I hope not.
You will wait and see. Time will tell you.
Then if he's the left winger, I'm on the boat with you. I don't want that. We need to get a left winger.
He's come on that left wing, Rob.
He's
pre-season, now game week 1.
Yeah, and I think, he's not looked impressive there. Right, so because I just don't feel he's comfortable in that position. That's not where he's played all his career. He's played on the right. Mm-hmm. And I think, it's back up to Saka. As a player you can bring on later on in games with Saka, or if Saka's injured, or if we're going to be fighting on multiple fronts, I'm happy with that. But on the left-hand side, we need to go and buy a left winger. That I'm with you on, right? We need to buy a left-hand winger. And then, attacking midfield positions,
we should get some.
Even Nwaneri, Odegaard, let's go with that. I'm happy with those two.
Nwaneri could cover Saka same way. We just spent 50 million on essentially a project again, and it seemed that we wanted a project with the striker as well, with Sesko. Is that what we're about? Everything is a project. Like it needed. This summer was about getting the final pieces. I think Gyökeres or Bemendi, they suit that final piece mold. Experienced players, been there, done that to a certain extent. They're coming in ready to go, right? Or so they should be ready to go. 50 million on Madueke in such a crucial summer. It's not going to end well.
Okay. Let's go to Unfiltered Opinions because, he's never going to change his mind, is he? Unfiltered Opinions. Why does Robbie always compare Arsenal to other clubs in any situations, and why not just do what you have to do and get on with it? Well,
you've actually compared us to better clubs just now.
Yeah, I think that's. You know what? If you're gonna, what I find with a lot of fans, right, is they'll go tearing into Arsenal on certain things, and don't get me wrong, sometimes it's deserved, but sometimes it's the same thing that other clubs are doing. So like when I was talking about the transfers, because I study this transfer thing hard, we're not the only club that are trying to sell players before the end of that are saying we can't really bring people in until we sell players. We're not the only. City are having to do it, Chelsea are having to do it, even Liverpool are having to do it. So there are times when a comparison is a correct thing to do. It's like Arsenal go to Man United and get the win. It's lucky. That weren't a lucky win. That was a resilient performance. If someone comes to us and does it, that's resilient, why can't we? We'll have even some of our own fans, why can't we do that? Why can't we be resilient? So sometimes a comparison has to be made just to let people understand that, this is football. And there are similar. You can't just think that because we're Arsenal that these rules don't apply to anybody else. But
the same way you compare, it can be compared in a different way. Like how did Chelsea manage to do what they've done financially. How have Liverpool managed to do what they've done this summer, for example? So when we compare like this, it's like we're always lagging compared to them.
But then you could argue and say,
that's showing ambition. Like, I know we can laugh at Chelsea about selling hotels and you know, whatever they sold their women's team, I think, as well at some stage, back to themselves. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they did do that. Yeah,
but
I don't like that. I don't want Arsenal to do those things either.
I'm not saying I want them to, but if they turn around and told me, or in hindsight, I'm looking at it and we sold something like that and then bought in Rodrigo and the Eze, I mean, I can't pay.
You know, sorry, Leah Williamson. You know, Beth Mead. You know, sorry, Russo. You know, he'll sell out the team. He'll just sell you lot just so he can bring Rodrigo in. You know what I mean? That's all right. Cool.
Both.
And Eze. You know what I mean? Right? No more Russo. No, you lot all gone. Right? Yeah?
Nah, man. They're about. I don't know who they get sold to, but yeah.
Next question.
How many appearances until we can make an accurate assessment of Gyökeres?
10.
Yeah, I think 10's fair.
10.
Yeah, you can know what's coming after 5, but I think 10 overall is enough time to say that's a fair amount of games, 10 starts.
It took Bergkamp a while to get going. It's even Henry took him a while to get going. You know, I mean, these are the greats. So it does take time for players. Some can just hit the ground running, whoop, and others, they have to grow into the position. And you can see already his style of play is a bit different to what we've been used to. Yeah. So
we need to start creating chances. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's so obvious that we need a world-class left winger. Transfer window can't be above a 6 with what we need in mind.
I agree.
We need a left winger. I don't know about if it would be a 6. I still think the window's been excellent so far. But, yeah, if we don't get that left winger, we're doing what we did last season, which is falling short because we didn't get the striker in. And it's so obvious. I do feel then... Even I might be thinking I lower it from a 7 to a 6 because it's so obvious what we need.
It's creeping to a 5 the slower we move, in my opinion. You know, in pre-season, it's nice seeing the new faces, but the reality is Mosquera, we're not seeing much of him this season, ideally, because ideally you have your centre-backs ready, right? Kepa, we're not going to see much of him. We barely saw Neto. So in pre-season, you see these players, and who else we bought?
Yeah, so they're important squad players.
Yeah, or you hope they become important squad players. But the reality is, the core is Zubimendi and Gyökeres, and that's not enough. And Madueke, actually. And that brings that not enough down to...
But you won't be seeing a lot of Madueke unless he plays on the left wing.
That's where he's playing. That's the big...
I hope not. But yeah, we need a left winger. We definitely need a left winger.
The first game of the season has... The first game of the season has left us with more questions than answers. Yeah. Can you agree with that? You must do. You ain't got no answers.
Yeah, we ain't got no answers. Yeah, I guess so, because I already knew that I've got a very resilient team.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I was up on Sky on Saturday and I was telling them about how good Arsenal's defence is, and that's why I think we'll be up there.
But you're worried about the attack?
I want to see more in the attack. I want to see more fluidity. I want to see Gyökeres firing. So yeah, we didn't get answers to none of those things. So yeah, I guess that's correct.
Not good enough.
That was only our 3rd win in the last 19 league trips to Old Trafford. It's a good sign that we are disappointed. Well, actually, I could get, you could look at that stat, because again, that stat was being thrown at me on Saturday when I was on that show. It's going, you got a terrible record at United, and I said, actually, but in recent times, yeah, you can look back to old times. Fergie and all that, but I go, in recent times, we've got a good record. Actually, under Arteta, we've got a good record at Old Trafford.
I think that's his quote, or more or less what he said after the game, Mikel. He said similar. He said he went to the dressing room and there was a feeling of disappointment. And I agree, that is a good sign, because it's fine to question yourselves, it's fine to challenge yourselves, it's fine to have that, not everything is rosy rainbows, like. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to...
Yeah, I saw all the players saying that they were disappointed in their performance, but they got the 3 points. But another stat is, last 6 times we've played Man United, we've won 5 and drawn 1.
1-5.
Yep. Last 6 times we've played Man United in the Premier League, 1-5, drawn 1.
No. Oh, both a home and away. Yeah.
So away at Old Trafford, the last 3 games at Old Trafford, we've won 2, drawn 1, and at home we've won 3 of them. So out of the last 6 games,
solid record.
5 wins, 1 draw.
So a big 6. We got a solid record. It ain't lost since April 2023, I think.
Yeah.
That City game, 4-1. Can't forget that.
We've just beaten Man United 1-0 here at Old Trafford. Turkish 1-0.
But listen, it wasn't about smoking them today. It would have been nice to smoke them. It was about 3 points. It was about taking it to game week 38. And to be honest, I was just here for Lee's fan cam. I echo every single word he said. You know, Arsenal are well and truly back. You know, if anyone had fallen out of love during those years that we were taking the piss out of, we are well and truly back in love now. You know, and that's without us getting over the line. It's not about getting over the line. We ain't got no divine right to win anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're proper level-headed them times, isn't it?
I've always level-headed.
Get over the line, you know what I mean? We ain't got a divine right to win anything.
Even a clip went out.
Got love back.
Yeah, even a clip went out a couple of weeks ago during the summer. I think on DR, when I said to the FCM lot, like, in 18 months or so, we're going to win the league and start dominating. I'm glad these clips are there because people think all I want to be is negative. There's many a clip where I've put my chest on the line more than anyone else, you know, regarding Arsenal, saying domination, saying what I said there. I want to feel like that.
Oh, so that's
but
why
again,
that's why you're so angry. That's why you get so angry.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if I lose it, I lose it. If I flip, I flip.
You stuck your chest out right, and then
of course
they made you look like stupid, right?
No,
so that's why you cuss them off.
They didn't win, so it's on to the next one. It's on to the next. Like, what's the next bit of excitement? What do we change, and how do we change it?
Did I see something the other day where you were saying United could win it before us or something? Was that you?
No. That was on William Hill. That was Statman Dave, United fan,
what did
and Flav, Tottenham fan.
And what did you say?
I didn't say nothing. They just had me in the clip. At that point, I didn't say nothing.
Oh, okay.
But the guy's talking about United finishing above us. Like, you know, certain times you don't need to argue certain points because the head is gone.
I thought Statman Dave was good on the stats. And
yeah,
he should
maybe
see
the stats are telling him.
Well, the stats should be telling him, like I said, last 6 games, 5 defeats,
Trust
1
me,
win.
United ain't
you know what I mean?
nothing to us.
Nah, you know what I mean? Listen, with United, they've improved.
Yeah.
They'll improve with Cunha and but the thing is about it, again, right? They ain't signed a keeper.
Keeper, yeah.
And look at Arsenal,
Or
they addressed
midfielder.
that straight away, didn't they? They brought in Kepa as a backup. You see, I can't understand why they didn't get more than a midfielder.
But
More than a
yeah.
midfielder. Keeper, he showed yesterday.
They
innit?
needed a new team, though, man. Really, let's be honest. They could do with everything. Attack, midfield, keeper,
No, and he just bought that Ugarte.
fullbacks. Yeah, but Ugarte was Ten Hag signing. I don't think Amorim.
But Ugarte played for Emery,
Did he?
didn't he? He was at Sporting.
I don't know.
I'm sure it was his signing. Listen, I don't care.
Was it a
right?
signing?
I don't really care. You know what I
I
mean,
can't
about
remember
him.
who signed. Yeah, I don't care.
But in
That's
Buemo,
the
I do.
point. I don't need to argue people who think Man United are going to finish above Arsenal. That's nonsense.
And Buemo, Cunha, they were
Good
2 good
signings.
players. Yeah,
I'll
2
take
good
both of them.
signings. Yeah, I'll take both of them.
Ahead of maybe one we signed.
Maybe. Anyway, right, we've come to the end of the show today, right? Leave us your comments, right? Maybe we could be reading them out on the next show. But
Love.
3 points at Old Trafford.
Yep.
We take that.
They can't hold me, hustle like I bag groceries. Get rich off this even if my mouth quiet till the wheels burn no matter how tired. They can't hold me, hustle like I bag groceries. Get rich off this even if my mouth quiet till the wheels burn no matter how tired.
GFN Soccer TV, with all your favourite shows in one place, is now live in the UK with Samsung TV Plus.